Does all anger start with contemplating the objects of material desire? What about anger we feel when someone hurts us or others? Interesting. Very, very good question, actually. And let me say it still applies, because what Krishna is speaking about is anger that arises when the individual is contemplating the object of the senses. Interestingly, I spoke about the 5 senses because those are the senses that most people can relate to. So that is the senses that are used to interact with things literally external to ourselves. But then the mind, the manas, is considered to be the 6th sense. And with the scenario that you're describing here, one is using mind. One is now contemplating via mind something internally, an object that is internal. So it's interesting, you asked this very, very correctly, when someone hurts us or others. Well, indeed, we are now contemplating that person, but internally. And that person is now the object that is creating anger for us. So indeed, the same scenario still applies, but at the same time, let me go a little bit deeper into this, actually. Because there is a lot of nuance when it comes to emotions, and I've tried to express this many ways and in many different ways and many different times. When it comes to the emotions, again, emotions are something that we're not to pretend that they're not there. Indeed, there are some times when emotions actually serve us, but we have to be very careful with them because they can lead to delusion. Now, when it comes to someone who has hurt us, someone who has harmed us, someone who has harmed someone else, etc., it's very natural that negative feelings toward that person would arise. Now, we're not to pretend that we're rocks. Oh, we see someone abusing some innocent person. Oh, let me not have emotion and just either ignore it or just try to deal with it in a rational way. Oh, sir, you should not be doing this. No. If we get frustrated, that's a very natural thing. If we become incensed by an injustice, that's a natural thing. There's a very big difference between experiencing emotions versus allowing emotions to overtake us. So indeed, interestingly, if we have someone who is very close to us and they pass away, we should feel a little bit sad. There's nothing wrong with that. We should not become overwhelmed with sadness and allow sadness to now dictate our actions. The same thing with anger, with frustration. If we see an injustice taking place, and a serious injustice, and we feel incensed, that's fine. But now the decisions that we make should not arise from the emotions. So indeed, if you see someone being abused, that should anger you, actually. That should make you feel incensed. But now, experiencing that feeling, don't make decisions based upon that feeling. You've experienced the feeling, you understand because of that feeling, an injustice has taken place. Now breathe, be calm, use your wisdom. What do I do to alleviate this injustice? And now you spring into action immediately. So that's the difference. It's not that we deny emotion, but we don't allow emotion to dictate to us. We experience the emotions, but we're not a slave of the emotions.